Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to my channel. This is SeniorShatnips here, and today I figured I'd try something new, something unique, something I don't do a lot. We're going to do a podcast. That's right, and you guys have seen I have some World War II Search and Destroy multiplayer going on in the background there. I suck at search, but might as well. And today we are featured today by LordOgar. Say hello, Lord.
What's up?
Anyways, guys, he is a zombies slash multiplayer YouTuber. He plays a lot of just of sorts of games. He's recently deleted his
boy.
yeah, he's recently deleted his channel. If he wants to talk about that a little bit.
I was doing YouTube for 5 years, and starting out, didn't really do popular games, and I was just putting videos up for just whatever. But it doesn't work that way if you want to get popular on YouTube. You have to do fresh new games as soon as they come out, because if not, you won't get views. That or just start controversy with somebody. And I played other games that I enjoyed to play, and I didn't get shit for views.
Right.
And so I don't know. I just felt like it was, well, not only that, it was like, the whole views thing, that was kind of annoying because it's been several years and I've been trying to get people to fucking at least check out my channel. And my most successful video, and literally the only like really successful video, hit like 55,000 views, which to a lot of people that's not a lot, but to me that was a lot. But anyway, there was that whole my channel getting out there thing, and then there was recording, because YouTube got rid of the editing software that they had on YouTube, so they got rid of that, so I couldn't like edit my videos because I don't have a editing software or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I couldn't do that, and so I pretty much just had to stream, and not everybody likes to sit through hour, 2 hour long streams. They just want to see like a quick short video. So I was getting less views by streaming. And then when I moved to my new place, I tried to stream, and it was saying that, internet wasn't working that well, so I couldn't stream. So it was bullshit. I couldn't record videos, I couldn't edit videos, I couldn't get my videos out there. So I was just like, it's a big waste of my time to even keep trying, because it's been 5 years.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. But yeah, that's what happened with him, guys. If any of you have known him or known his channel, he's recently deleted it due to all that stuff he was just talking about with whole editing and videos not wanting to upload and slow internet speed. So, and I completely understand. I mean, I have my days.
That's another thing. I would record, because me and you and two of our friends, we did what was it? Whenever Infinite Warfare came out with the boss battles or whatever.
Yeah, boss battle mode.
We did the super Easter egg, and we were recording boss battles and stuff like that. And we had some pretty funny stuff to upload, but it wouldn't upload for me. It was just saying, yeah, no, sorry, can't upload. And it wouldn't tell me why, and I was like, what the hell? And I spent like a couple hours editing it, cutting out the little parts that weren't that funny, and yet it wouldn't upload. So that's one thing that just makes it feel like a huge waste of time whenever you put hours and hours of like editing into it, and then everything's just like done and it's gone. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I guess I didn't want to upload it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
Let's get to the beef, the main meat of the story here. We're going to be talking about a lot of zombies and maybe even a bit of multiplayer stuff. Actually, let's start in with some multiplayer stuff, actually, because Multiplayer's got some short and simple stories that we want to talk about. Recently, there was a Reddit post done by Michael Condrey talking about a couple changes they're going to be doing in World War II. And a list of these couple of changes are possible changes to shell shock with friendly explosives or equipment. There's also going to be possible changes to sprint out times and health regen and shotgun tuning. Some of these are confirmed while some aren't. I just want to know what your thoughts on all this stuff is and whether we need it or not.
Well, one thing that I really hope that they do, like because you know this, I've been super upset with the health regen. I feel like in this game it takes way longer for your health to fully go right back to where it was, and because literally, like, I'll shoot somebody, and then they'll start shooting back at me, and like I'm like, shit, I gotta get behind cover. So I get behind cover, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just waiting and waiting, and the screen's not red and messed and bloody anymore. So I'll get out of cover, and then I'll get killed in one shot. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, they need to fix that, where like the health regen doesn't take as long, and as soon as your screen isn't red or bloody or whatever anymore, that's when your health is like at maximum. It shouldn't there shouldn't be a delay afterwards, because I think that's garbage.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's a huge noticeable difference in the delay of health regen on this game versus any of the other CODs. And I definitely agree they should fix the health regen just a little bit. You don't want to do a drastic change to where you have to drop, for instance, in the Type 100, you got to drop 4 to 5 bullets into someone to kill them. You don't want to drop 3 bullets in them and then you have to have their health regen. 2 seconds later, they're already back to full health. Or you just don't want that. So I'm definitely agree with that. As for the sprint out times, I think they can do just a little bit of change, but from what I saw and have noticed through other YouTubers, they're probably not going to change the sprint out times just because they wanted to give it kind of their own feeling on the sprint out times in this game. But since the community feedback has been so negative about that, they're definitely going to probably change it in the future. Or do something with the quick draw attachment, because I noticed looking at some videos saying that the quick draw attachment only works if you're not running. You have to just stand still or walk and aim down sight.
I've noticed that.
Yeah,
I've noticed
it was a bit ridiculous.
The FG42, that gun in particular, I don't know, because there are some guns where like I can pull them up really quick, and they're usually like SMGs or whatever. But I know that the FG42 is the only real one that I've noticed where quick draw, it like doesn't matter at all if you're running, because it takes such a long time to pull that gun up right at, like, and it makes a big difference too, because if it feels like it's just a waste of a slot, you're like, oh well, it doesn't work anyway, so like why do I even have quick draw on FG42? But I noticed that gun, it made me not want to use the gun anymore, because I was like, well, I can't pull my gun up fast enough, and while people are using guns like the PPSH or the BAR or the STG, guns that have been overpowered since day one, and yet like I can't take them out because I can't pull my gun up fast enough, and they can get way more shots into me because they have a faster fire rate. And then the sprint times, that's like the cooldown, right?
Yeah, it's the time it takes from you to stop sprinting to aim down your sight in your gun.
Okay, yeah. I feel like, that needs to get changed. I do feel like sprinting in general needs to be changed slightly. Like, add maybe a couple seconds of sprinting, but you can sprint longer, because it feels like I can't run for that long. Maybe it's just my controller or whatever, but I feel like if I run like 10 steps, my guy's tired already.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's the biggest problem for me in this game. I know there are a couple things that definitely could get fixed.
Without a doubt, it's not the biggest problem, but it's up there.
They've also Sledgehammer's also actually mentioned that gun-wise, they're going to be they're going to take attention to the shotguns because the community has been asking for that for quite some time, and I know that everyone's been saying that the double barrels need to be messed with and fixed just a little bit, and it turns out they're actually going to do something with them. They're going to be nerfing the combat shotgun in some form of way, whether it be the range or damage fall off or the fire rate speed, or just they're going to do something to it. And then I saw that they're going to buff the sawed-off shotgun, which is a community outcry for a buff, and they finally got it. But I noticed that they didn't buff the M30 Luftwaffe drilling, which is the longer double barrel one, and I don't know, that one kind of steamed me a little bit. Just that one definitely of all guns could have used a buff. It's one of the worst ones in the game. The rifle bullet on it is kind of just it's a weird gun. It doesn't work the way it doesn't feel like it's supposed to work the way it does when you're up close with someone and you shoot them. It should kill them with a one shot, but it doesn't.
I know that the I don't think they should increase the damage for the Luftwaffe or whatever. I don't think they should increase the damage. They need to increase the range on it though, because you have to be very close to kill an enemy with that gun. Compared to a gun like the combat shotgun, that gun has such a far range for a shotgun. I get one shot from like very far distances, and it's kind of annoying. But they definitely need to nerf the range on the combat shotgun and increase the range on the Luftwaffe, because I haven't used the sawed-off, so I don't really know. But I have used the Luftwaffe, and I think it needs to get buffed, at least with the range. Like, don't like overdo it, but they definitely need to add like a little bit more range to it, because it feels very weak.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't mind it being a two-shot, but it just, you have to get so close to kill somebody with a two-shot. And in the rifle bullet thing, if you're quick, it's pretty much just a three-shot. Is you just put in the rifle bullet at first, do a quick shot, switch, and then you can do your two shots or whatever.
That's the thing, though. It feels like the rifle bullet should be an instant kill. I mean, you can only shoot one shot. You'd expect it to be one shot, one kill, like a sniper. You know, they had the what was it, the Trek 50 and the Proteus on Infinite Warfare, and those only had one. The Trek 50 only had one bullet in it, and it allowed it to where you can just pull the trigger and get the kill most of the time. It seems a bit underwhelming when you add this attachment to your gun. You can add rapid fire, you can add advanced rifling, you can add steady aim, you can add anything, but then you add this rifle bullet and it's not even a one shot. It just seems kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's what they should make the rifle bullet stronger than the regular bullets. So at least, like, because if you hit the enemy, it's gonna kill them. But if you miss, then you have to go back to your regular bullets.
Right. Well, that's all I have to say about multiplayer-wise on this game. Now we're gonna get into the juicy info, which
before we get to your juicy info, I think, and this needs to be done, they need to do something with the STG, and they need to do, because everybody, and you've seen this, there have been lobbies where everybody is using the STG. They need to do something with it, because like, it's supposed to be a balanced all-around gun or whatever, and it might be a little slow at firing compared to other guns, but like, it doesn't matter. It still feels super overpowered, even though it's like, it's not as overpowered as the bar was on day one, but it's still pretty high up there. And PPSH with rapid fire, that's crazy. It's so crazy how fast you can get a kill with that.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Rapid fire and what is it? It's not quick draw. It's
grip.
The recoil. Yeah, grip. If you have grip and fast mags, that gun is just.
I'm assuming you mean extended mags.
No. Fast mags.
There's no fast mags in this game.
Or rapid fire. I'm fucking stupid.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, fast mags.
No, but if you have rapid fire and grip on the PPSH, that gun is unstoppable.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. That's why I saw on the first Reddit post that Michael Condrey had put up about possible changes in the next update. They had said that the pro players were bitching about the M1 Garand, saying it's OP, which it's not. Don't listen to the players on what guns are OP or not. They have a completely different play style than us. I wouldn't trust them on that.
As a
But
person who uses the M1 Garand, it is not OP. I mean, it is a 2-shot, and at further distances, it's a 3-shot, maybe a 4, but that's rare. But it's 3-shot at very far distances and 2-shot at normal distances. But you can't just go pew pew and shoot really quick. You have to like time it because
right,
the
yeah, it
recoil
rewards
after
you
the
for your
first shot,
accuracy.
it's unbelievable the recoil after one shot. And if you try to shoot really fast, your gun's gonna you're gonna be pointing up at the sky eventually.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's why, and they also said in the post too that there was a possible change to the STG, that they might have even done a slight buff, and that's where you were just mentioning too how the STG could use a bit of a nerf. I thought the same thing. That's why I was reading through the Reddit post and I was looking at the little comments on there, and I saw a lot of people saying the STG could use a little bit of a recoil buff. And I mean, if you guys will see in my gameplay here, I'm gonna go over to the STG, and its accuracy is a 6. And that's about as accurate as the FG and the SVT, and it says it's as accurate as the M1, but it's way better than all of those. It has little to no accuracy. So that's why I was like, the STG needs a buff? I think it needs a nerf. I mean,
I
it's
definitely think
ridiculous.
it needs a nerf because that's probably because like in every single game you're gonna have the gun that everybody uses. Like fuck in Black Ops 3 you had there were so many people running around with the Cuda and the KN-44, and then Infinite Warfare you had people with the NV4 and the K-bar, and then World War II you have the STG and the PPSH,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it.
The beginning of the game was the bar, but they've nerfed that gun down
Oh
to where
yeah,
it's evenly usable now. The only thing that's keeping it good and alive is its ability to 3-shot. If it didn't have that 3-shot kill range, it would definitely be one of the worst weapons in the game.
yeah. I honestly think that they don't need to buff the STG because that gun, it's like it's kind of like one of those guns where like if you get killed by it and you see it a lot in the feed, you're gonna get annoyed and you're gonna get ticked off and you're gonna say there are so many other guns in this game. There are plenty of other guns that you can experiment with and try to get good with those guns. And yet most of the community prefers the STG over so many other guns.
Yeah.
I've seen regular STG, the Red Baron, and I don't know what other variants there are for the gun because I don't use it. I used it in the beta and thought it was amazing, but as soon as the full game came out, I was like, all right, we'll just use whatever guns uh, they have. And I I think I might have used the STG in maybe 2 matches, but I typically just use the M1 or if I'm going to play SMG, I use the M1928. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The STG does not need a buff. It needs a nerf in some way. I cannot stand that gun.
Definitely. Well, we don't want to stay on multiplayer too long. We definitely have some other stuff we do want to talk about. So, if it's all right with you, we're gonna head over to zombies now. And
Yes.
there's not much I have to say on too much to say on zombies, but there were a couple things I wanted to talk about. The for starting off for this game at least specifically, they dropped the Darkest Shore trailer for DLC 1's The Resistance Pack coming out January 30th, I believe. And I don't know if you saw the complete trailer of the map breakdown and everything like that, but it looks looks pretty exciting. It looks like they're going to be bringing back the bombers, and I overheard somebody saying they're going to bring back the Woosling zombies, and they're bringing back maybe the pests, and I saw that they're going to bring like this werewolf-looking thing back. It looks really cool. It kind of reminded me of the werewolves from Raven the Redwoods, and it looked pretty exciting. It had a lot of cool things. It even had that chainsaw weapon.
So, starting out, because I haven't seen the full trailer just yet, I think, or I've seen something of the map, and it was just they were talking about the whole DLC one thing, but I haven't seen like a specific trailer for it. But I think, because you know my opinions already on the Final Reich, I think they need to dial down the difficulty just slightly. Because it's already, like, I get it's supposed to be challenging, but, like, for new players who don't play zombies, and for players that do play zombies, like, it's, because I've beaten every map in Black Ops 3, I've beaten every map in Infinite Warfare, and I was like, because I started playing zombies in Black Ops 3, and so I wanted to go through every map in World War II because I heard it's supposed to be super gory, super creepy and scary and all that, so I was super excited. But I don't know, after playing the Final Reich, I don't know, the replayability just wasn't as great as other maps. I'm not saying that the map is bad, because I think the map layout is nice. I like the map layout. I like some of the wonder weapons. I don't know. I do really like that sword, the melee.
Yeah, the red talon.
I like how it has like a charge up thing, and then you can do like a blast that like wipes out zombies by like round, I don't know, late 20s or early 30s. But there's a few things that I really hate about that map, and I really hope that they don't implement it into the next map. And that's Woosling spawn rates. I cannot stand those things. That should be like, you get one of those every, I don't know, like 5 rounds maybe. Or every, like...
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say 5 rounds. That's kind of like the Brenner zombie.
I don't know. Yeah, I think... Well, I think the Brenner should spawn in... I think they should spawn in every 10 rounds, personally. Like, 1 on round 10, and, like, 2 on round 20. You know, just, like, up them every single time. You know, 3 on 30, 4 on... You know, make it hard. But, like, the Wooslings, they already have, like, a lot of damage, like, a lot of health. And they do massive amounts of damage, and you have to deal with bombers, you have to deal with pests, you have to deal with regular zombies, and then whenever you're running away from a crowd of zombies and you get hit by a Woosling, your screen's already red. So all of your armor can easily get taken away if you get hit, I don't know, 3 times. If you run into another horde of zombies that are behind the Woosling, after getting hit, you're pretty much done, and there's no coming back from it, unless you're playing with somebody. So I think they should reduce the spawn rate of Wooslings. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think that's what they should do. And they shouldn't bring back the bomb zombies.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late for that.
Yeah, I know, but it just seems like overkill. It's like, why? Like, okay, Final Reich had regular zombies, Wooslings, bombers, pests, Brenners.
That's it.
So like, okay, so that's pretty much what they're gonna add in the new map, is every single thing except the Brenner. Like, maybe take some of those away like the Woosling, they don't. I feel like that should have just been like a Final Reich thing. I think they should have done the same thing Infinite Warfare is doing, or what they did is they have a main sort of kind of boss zombie that you're just like fuck, like a bigger guy you don't want to deal with.
Yeah, like the
And it
Brenner or
has
the
like
Panzer.
yeah. They should have a specific one for each map. Like in Infinite Warfare, they had in Spaceland there was the Brute, and then Raven the Redwoods. You had uh,
Slasher.
well, yeah, that was only if you took drugs, but
But yeah, he's like the
uh,
big dude of the map though, because he comes in and
yeah,
he only comes in when you use that. And then the Shaolin Shuffle, they had the ninja zombies and the roller
yeah,
skaters. I
those
wouldn't
guys.
say they were about equally. I'd say the ninjas were a bit worse. Then the attack, you
Yeah, they
had
were.
the Krog brutes, and those guys were just as annoying as the regular ones. And then Beast from Beyond, you had pretty much everything. On high rounds, you'd get the slasher, and then you'd get the
Yeah, but map exclusive, you had the Phantom uh, alien things or whatever.
yeah.
So I think that's what they should do is they should have a specific special big zombie for each map, and like it doesn't have to be that much different from a Woosling. You can just change up the design because if it's gonna be on like I don't know like what was it, a beach, like a murky foggy bunker on a beach or something.
Yeah, it's on an island.
Oh yeah, they could easily do something where there could be like a, I don't know, some shipwrecked soldier or whatever that like was rotting in the ocean or something like that. They could have something, and it doesn't have to be a Woosling, because I fucking hate those things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if they want to keep pests, like that makes sense, sure, because dead bodies decay over time, and so it just fits like the horror dead body zombie sort of feeling. And then bomb zombies, I don't. They definitely shouldn't have done that. They should have done something completely different. But it's already done now, so what can I say?
Yeah. All right, so on to our next topic. Um, this is kind of just a basic question on preference, but I feel like we haven't really discussed this yet. So, what is your favorite zombie map? And after you're choosing, I'd like a small explanation on why.
Okay, what is my favorite and why? Um, so as you know, I like replayability, and I think that's what makes a map great. Whether it's the wonder weapons, whether it's the map layout, the types of zombies that you're facing,
Yeah.
the perks that are in the map, pretty much all of those make a map replayable. It has great replayability. And there are maps in my opinion, are trash, and I kind of get bored of them. And there's probably going to be there might be some fans or whatever in the comments going, "Oh my God, really well." But I can honestly say that Shadows of Evil is my favorite map due to its replayability because I can stop playing any zombies game or whatever. But if I pop in Black Ops 3 and I look through the maps, I'm like, okay, because I have all the maps. I can look through and be like, okay, do I want to play any Zombies Chronicles? Not really. Um, and because I don't know, like if you're playing any of the Zombies Chronicles maps, except for like the ones that don't have Easter eggs, it just feels like you're just doing steps. Like it doesn't feel like the map layout is great enough to go for high rounds or anything like that. But because like Shangri-La, there's a lot of closed spaces, and it just doesn't feel like a high round map. It just feels like, yeah, let's get the Easter egg done. And same with Moon. I mean, there are some spaces in Moon where you can train like crazy, but like I don't know, it just has a feeling where it's like this is meant for an Easter egg and not for a high round.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But I personally feel that Shadows of Evil, because I've done it. I picked it up and I just played it, and I was like there's so many things you can do in the map. It's like you can upgrade the shield if you want to. You can upgrade the Arnie's if you want to. You can get the Margwa's head or whatever, the helmet if you want to. You can. There's so many things that you can do if you want to. Plus, you can do the Easter egg, or you can go for high rounds, and I personally love doing, like, from the very beginning of a match. What I like to do is I like to go through while I'm doing my rituals. I'm also like, I'll go through. What is it called? It's the one that takes you to the boxing area, waterfront.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The waterfront district.
I like. That's where I like starting out as. I like to go through there after I've done the ritual and spawn, and then my second one's in waterfront. And then once I'm done with that ritual, I'll take the train and go. I'll take the train and go all the way through, look at all the symbols, so that I can, on my way, I can get those and get the little eggs, so I can place them on the statues while I'm doing ritual shit. And I like doing that. I like doing the eggs while I'm doing some of the basic beginning stuff, so that by the time I'm done with the final ritual in the boss fight room, then I can already like do the sword instead of having to do the eggs then. I don't know. It just seems like you can do a bunch of stuff at the same time while you're multitasking, and honestly, I like the Easter egg. I think it's amazing. I like how, like, as you're working your way through, because starting out you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just doing rituals, regular zombies and whatnot. And then after your second and fourth ritual, you get a Margwa, and you're like, whoa, what the? Oh, not these guys. But then once you progress through the Easter egg, like the sky turns all red, and then like you'll get to the step where you have to, there's nothing but Margwas. And you know this, but from experience, whenever you're doing that step with 4 people, it's like the most frustrating thing in the world. But whenever you finally do it, you're like, yes, we did it, and it's like such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I know Shadows has definitely gotten a lot more popular over the past couple months, just because of how it's been a couple years since it's come out now. I believe it's been like 2.25 years or so, and people are starting to really appreciate Shadows for what it is instead of just this squid, tentacle map. And I definitely feel like people like it a lot more. They like some more of the attribute things about the map now. And
I definitely think it's probably one of the best starting maps for a game.
Oh no, it definitely is. Like we started off and we had like Transit, horrible map, one of the worst in the series. And then we started off, obviously the first map ever was Nocturne Toten. Good starting map for zombies, but not the best map ever. We had Kino. A lot of people love Kino. I don't know why. I guess it's just classic Kino or whatever people call it.
Oh, was that a starting one?
Yeah, Kino and 5. And then there's also, we already said Transit, and then there's Shadows of Evil. And we also have, Zombies in Spaceland, which is, I'd say, the second best starting map they've ever made. And then there's also the Final Reich. And some might say Outbreak for Advanced Warfare. It came with the first DLC, so I'm not going to count it as a, per se, starting map. But it's definitely the first map in the game. But Shadows, I definitely can say Shadows is one of the top 10 maps of all time, and it's definitely the best start on disc map. Now, to next follow up with your question, you have your favorite is Shadows. What would you say is your least favorite?
can't say transit because
I mean, you
that's one
definitely
like
can. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, transit sucks, but if you don't like transit, you can just let us know.
no I don't know transit because that's like the first map like I ever played in zombies and like it was me and like one or two friends and we were playing it and it was before they changed the little Easter egg song so it had like the Skrillex thing the Skrillex song.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that.
That I thought that was super cool. Like once you found all of the teddy bears or whatever, then it was like I'm gonna try it out. While you're like mowing down zombies, I thought that was so cool. I liked uh, I liked how there were sections like in the cornfield area where like there was like a shack or whatever out in like the fog, and like you couldn't find it unless you kind of explored. And I think that's where one of the jet gun parts are.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought that was really cool to have like a little hidden shack or whatever. And you're like,
Cabin.
oh shit.
Yeah, it had the
Cabin.
Bowie knife in it too.
Yeah, I like how it had little hidden things, and like they had the knocked during Toten little Easter egg house or whatever. So
Yeah, the
I
bottom
don't know.
floor, basic Nocturne Totem part of the map.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So I liked how it kept a creepy cornfield sort of feeling, and then I really liked the gas station and like the Galvanuckles or whatever, where you like put the ladder. I don't know. I really liked how you could build and like you could choose where to put things. You're like, okay, well I could put the ladder on the bus, or I could put the ladder in the gas station to go up to get the Galvanuckles. And you can like add stuff to the bus so that zombies could get attacked. I don't know. The map really, the only really bad thing is that the wonder weapon sucked ass, and then the map was way too large. And
Yeah,
the what are they called? The little goblins that are like
denizens.
attached. Yeah, the denizens. They really weren't. They're not as bad as people say. It's just if they get kind of annoying at sometimes, but that's just if you're not on the bus. Like if you want to go explore without the bus, if you fall off the bus, then it's like, well, shit, that's your fault. You shouldn't have fallen off the bus. You should have stayed on the bus to get to the next location. But I don't know. That map isn't as bad. To me, it's not as bad as people say. But my least favorite map. Mm, Before I completed Spaceland, I hated that map so much. But the Easter egg was actually like one of my favorites in that game.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Actually, it's pretty much just the boss fight because the whole Easter egg is super short. The boss fight was amazing, but fuck, it's because I haven't played too many. Um, if I'm gonna, I don't know. I haven't played a lot of them to like fully say that I dislike a map, but I really don't like Ascension's map layout. It can get kind of confusing at times, and it just everything looks all dark and gloomy, and like not knowing where you're going. Because I've only played that map like 6, 7 times, and it just it looks so confusing. Like for a new player compared to like other maps where it's just like, oh hey, yeah, you start out here, go forward, this is this area, take a left, it's that area, take a right, it's this area. Like I really like the map layout for Grod Krovi, and once you get the hang of it, Horizon Rock has a really great map layout.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love Horizon Drug. So, what was it? You said you don't like it. You said Ascension is your least liked map.
Not least like I think I played Die Rise a few times, and I really don't like that map layout either. Um, I don't know. There's just a lot of. I don't like. There's not a single map where I'm just like, wow, I really fucking hate playing this map. There's just like one little thing per map. I'm just like, yeah. Like the Final Reich, I don't like how the Wuslings and the difficulty is fucking increased. And I don't like map layout for Dire Eyes or Ascension, and like a lot of people give praise to Origins, but the mud is so fucking annoying, and like you can barely get away at like the worst possible times. You're like, oh shit, fell off the tank, stuck in mud now, and then you get, I don't know, bombarded by zombies, and I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So you
there's not a lot of
necessarily you
maps.
don't say you.
There's not a
So
lot
you're
of maps
basically
that
you're
I say
saying
that I hate.
you don't have a least liked map, but you just have a couple maps that you have things that you dislike about certain maps, but you don't have like one that you really dislike itself.
Yeah, there's not one that I'm just like, I cannot stand that map. But there's also maps that are like super popular, but like get way too much praise, and like I don't understand why. Like Kino, for instance, like it's a good map. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good map, but it just feels like it's too much hype, and I think uh, I don't know. It just feels like it gets way too much hype. Uh, I think the idea for Origins and like the whole Easter egg and all that is really cool. But again, the mud really kills it for me because like there's a lot of fucking mud in that map, and it I don't know. It just like it gets a lot of hype. I don't understand why. But there's maps like Der Eisendrock, which is very similar to Origins, where it's like, oh yeah, it's got the 4 weapons or whatever, and like you have to do all the like I don't know. I really like Der Eisen. That is a really good map, and there's hardly anything that I can say that's bad about that map. The only thing that maybe sucks is having to do some of. Actually, no, the firebow's not that hard once you get used to it, because I can get it now like very quickly. But I think the void bow, that one takes a little too long
Yeah,
to
yeah.
upgrade. Um, what other maps are super popular? I can't stand Knocked. Like it, I don't understand why that one. Like in Zombies Chronicles, I kind of get why they remastered it, just because it's like, hey, the first Zombies map. But goddamn, they could have put some. They could have definitely put something else in there.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, they could have remade Transit to make it better than what the community saw it as.
Well, the thing was with Zombie Chronicles is all the maps were made, the ones that had the original crew in them, the Richtofen and Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey crew. So they didn't do any of the Black Ops 2 base maps. They didn't do Mob. They didn't do 5. They didn't do Call of the Dead. You know, they just didn't do any of those maps.
Yeah, because that would just require different voice actors and complications and stuff. But I really don't see why Noct gets a lot of praise. Because if you want to pick a small map, then World War II's Groston House or Groston, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Grostenhaus.
That map, it's super small. Like it's the smallest map in Zombies, yet it it makes it feel like it's like really challenging and like really cool. I don't know. And plus, there is a like if you want to get the mystery box, then there you go. You have to do like a little side Easter egg to open up the mystery box room. I don't know. That map is way better than Noct. A lot of maps get a ton of praise, and it's just not. They just don't deserve it because there's definitely better maps out there. But anyway, what about you? What's your favorite and what's your least favorite?
Good question. Um, as for my favorite, I've definitely had a little bit more change in mind, and I've thought about this a little bit lately over the past couple months. And just now, from my own personal experience, I would definitely have to say my favorite is definitely going to be a tie, and it's going to be between Mob of the Dead, which is obviously a good fan favorited map, and a surprise one, which is right next to it, Buried. As for my
Hmm.
choices for those, I mean, Mob of the Dead is it's such a good classic map, and for just everything that is good about that map. The storyline ties in juicy with that map, and the characters, you got Sal, you got Finn, you got Weasel, and then you got Billy, and they all have their own interesting storyline, and just the story itself is cool. It's like you're helping these four mobsters escape Alcatraz Island, and the weapons on that map that are unique or cool. They got the AK-47, they got the Uzi, they got the Tommy gun was first on that map. There's just a lot of good map exclusive weapons on there, and then you had like the Wonder Weapon may not have been the best, but it was unique and really cool. We hadn't have seen like a shotgun based Wonder Weapon style like that yet, and it was very cool. And just the cool little story bits around the map whenever you do the Easter egg, and it's like you got to pick up the audio reels. I don't know. I love the Mob of the Dead. Like I've thought about it over a little bit of time, and I've definitely decided that Mob is one of my favorites now. And then as for Buried per se, a lot of people say it's too easy. I say it's just the right amount of good and challenge in zombies. It only makes it easy per se uh, when you use stuff like the bank, or you pull out 50k from your bank, you get all your perks, you get 4 perks, 5 perks, whatever, 6 perks by round 1, you get all your guns pack a punch, you get the Mark II, you get the paralyzer. It makes it too easy. You have to set a little challenge yourself, or else it's going to be too easy. But I spent the most time on Buried in almost any zombies map. They had the super Easter egg on that map, and that sharpshooter step was a bitch to do, but it was a unique step that we've never seen anything close to. And so that's definitely for my justifications for those two.
Yeah, see, I think that's why I think Horizon is probably one of my favorites because it like took all of the best things from so many of the best maps. Like it had the 4 player wonder weapons like in Origins. It had the dragon heads, which were very similar to the Mob of the Dead dog heads or whatever, where you had to feed them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it had oh, fuck, what map had? Oh well, I guess Ascension had the little lunar landers or whatever, but had like launch pads and stuff. And
Well, I would say there's definitely a little bit of a difference between like the launch pads and the lunar landers, because like the lunar landers you had to use them to open up pack a punch, and it was like one of the key things of Ascension. But Horizon Drog, the launch pads are basically just to help you get around the map, since it is a good sized map.
yeah, but it's kind of similar. Like you go up in the air and you land somewhere else. So I mean that might be kind of the idea of what they were getting at. I don't know that map is just and then the pyramid room. I think that room is super cool. You have like the low gravity. You can, I don't know. It's a really cool room. But anyway, your least favorite map is it
That
Transit?
No, honestly, that was a big surprise even for myself. That I liked it. I mean, Transit, like you said, it was my starting map. So like, I can't say I hate it too much. I have a lot of things I dislike about it, but I wouldn't say it's like my top. Like, ooh, I fucking hate this map. One of those kinds of maps. But uh, My least hated map, without a doubt, is 5. I hate 5 so much. The fact that, I mean, the characters are only, and the characters and the map setting is the only good thing about that map. If you didn't have that, I mean, you have a shitty ass map, very small, close quartered, open area when it doesn't need to be. The wonder weapon is shit before round 20. Then you got, very little to no traps. You got the characters are a bit annoying sometimes. JFK is always, saying something silly and cool, but then again, his voice is a bit scratchy. He doesn't sound like, you know, JFK at all. And then you got like the Pentagon thief can run really fast. He pretty much can outrun you. I have a lot of negatives about that map, and every time I play it, I just have a very bad experience.
Okay, so I just remembered, based on like I've played the map, and visually it doesn't look great.
Yeah, it's horrible. The colors are
No,
bad. I
well,
mean, that's just
no,
Black Ops
no,
1 in
no,
general.
no, not 5. But I was talking about one of my least favorites. Um, I dislike Call of the Dead.
Really?
The map itself, it doesn't look very appealing. I understand the setting, I understand where they are, what they're trying to do, but like it's just a very bland looking map, and a lot of the locations look the same, and and so not only that, but it gets like kind of you can't really see off into the distance that well, at least from what I remember. And then, like, not only are you having to worry about zombies and whatnot, but you always have to watch out for George Romero. He's always just right fucking there, and you're like, really, take him away, get him out of here. Someone train George Romero.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I feel like sets that map is if it didn't have George Romero, it would just be a snowy big map with the lighthouse and a boat. And I mean, George Romero is the only thing that makes that map hard. Other than that, you have regular zombies. There's no dog rounds. There's none of that. It's just George
Well,
Romero
they
and
could have put
zombies.
they could have put like somebody else, like or at least something else to make the map more interesting. Because, like I said, it's not visually appealing at all. It's just like a simple color palette where it's just like, yeah, snow and fog and can't see that well, and like that's it. And like I don't know, and personally, it feels like they really kind of slacked off because it's like somewhat foggy. They didn't really have to try too hard with the textures or whatever because it's so foggy, like you can't really see off into the distance. But like there's other maps uh like I was saying with Gorod Krovi, is the map layout is fantastic because you look at one spot and you're like, okay, I'm here, like I'm in spawn, and like even spawn looks amazing because you see the little child statue or whatever with the children, and then you turn around and then like there's the boss fight area, and like you can see the entire background, and it just looks like you're in it. You're in the battlefield area. You're in a war zone, and then you look up in the sky and you see planes and you see dragons. Like, yeah, it's a little weird and whatnot. Starting out, you're like, the fuck, dragons, but it's like just looking around in the background of a map is what makes it feel amazing. You're like, whoa, this looks really cool. Like everything in front of me looks amazing, and then when I look off into the distance, I can see other things going on as well, and it's awesome. Which I like that in Zetsubo. You can see in like up if you look up into the sky, you can see planes, whatever, and you can see what the Mob of the Dead plane or whatever.
Yeah, that's on Shadows flying around after you open up Pack-a-Punch. It's on the
Yeah,
Giant above the Teleporter C. I don't remember exactly if it's on Horizon Drop, but I know it's on I think one or two other maps that had a lot to do with the storyline in this game too. They had the Sal DeLuca note in there, and then they had the recently discovered on top of the roof outside the map had like a towel spelling out like a number or something like that. It was pretty interesting.
And like another like I said, Zetsubo has like a feel to it. Like a lot of people really don't like Zetsubo, and but I like the map layout because you have a left side, a right side, and a center, which is the center is the bunker, and then it all connects back to spawn. And I don't like the spiders; they're annoying. But like you can look off into the distance, like what is it? You have to get to a certain round or whatever. You can look off in the distance, and there's like a giant monster or whatever.
Yeah, the distant monster Easter egg that's on round 50, if I believe. And
Yeah,
it
and
kind
you
of
can
looks like
see
a
like
paper cutout, but it's cool.
yeah, yeah. The idea though, that's what makes it is that it's just like oh shit, you're like in this like creepy swamp looking jungle area, and like off in the distance there's a giant beast, and you're just like whoa. Like I don't know, I feel like they could have done something with that, like make it significant, but I don't know. They didn't really have to. It's just like a hey, you made it to round 50. Here's a little thing. But I don't know. There's a lot of maps where people just don't appreciate them enough, and like yeah, there are some things where it's like oh wow, this wonder weapon's kind of shit, or yeah, this is not that great. Like for instance, in Attack of the Radioactive Thing in Infinite Warfare, starting out, the map layout is that map probably has one of the best replayabilities out of the entire game. But the Wonder Weapon starting out, it sucked ass, and you know that. Like you know the MAD, it was terrible starting out. But they did like I think an ammo buff and uh, I don't know. They might have done something else, but I think they did a damage buff, and then they made it a little more overpowered. And it's like, well, I might need the MAD rather than just like, nah, we don't need it.
Yeah, definitely.
That map is definitely one of my favorites on that game. But
Well, I think we've
let's
had
see.
a good talk here. If you're ready to wrap things up, if you want to leave any final comments.
Um, let's see. Since we talked about zombies the most, I'm gonna quickly just say that DLC one, it better be amazing because if it's just like the final Reich, and and I'm not shit talking the final Reich because it isn't Treyarch, which a lot of the fans do that. They did that for Infinite Warfare. I guarantee they did that for Advanced Warfare. Uh, they're doing it for World War II. There's like, oh, it's definitely doesn't add up to Treyarch, and it's like, well, no shit, because it's their first one, like it's their first map, and not every Treyarch map is good. Not everything Treyarch does is good. They started zombies, but that doesn't mean that everything that they come out with is going to be amazing. So I really hope that World War II does an amazing job in the later DLCs, and they don't goof it up. Because like you had zombies YouTubers in Infinite Warfare, they were like, "Wow, I really love this map, this Easter egg, this all the wonder weapons." But then by the time the final DLC came out and they beat it and everything was out on day one, they're just like, "Yeah, I don't know, Infinite Warfare wasn't that fun." And I'm like, "What the fuck? You just said it was amazing." They're like, "It's definitely nothing compared to Treyarch, but whatever."
Yeah,
They better do a damn good job to compete with Treyarch, and I just hope that they don't keep a ton of the annoying enemies like the Wooslings. Like if they're gonna throw in bombers in the next map, whatever. They're I mean, fuck, they already said they're going to. But if Wooslings, they don't need to be there. They do not need to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
If they are, reduce the spawn rate. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, that was a. I feel like we had a good chat there. I'd just like to thank y'all for watching. Remember to make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new.